Well, that was crap, wasn't it? Full time from St James's Park in the match review. Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 4. Disappointed. I don't think we deserved anything from the game this evening. I thought Manchester United were the better side. I felt like they deserved the 3 points overall. I'm not going to argue about any of the decisions tonight because, let's be honest, in the final third, we were shocking. Like, we didn't really do enough to test De Gea. Manchester United had double the shots and the scoreline reflects it. I didn't want to underestimate Manchester United when I done the match preview because we know that they've got game changers. We know that they've got players that can turn a game on its head. And they showed that, especially in the second half. It was never going to be an easy game, but I've never went into a Newcastle-Manchester United game with us being the favourites, and I felt like that pressure on Manchester United was easy for them to control. They had full control of the game in terms of possession. At home, it should be us. It doesn't matter who it's against, especially Manchester United when they're in a low moment. We didn't really take the initiative tonight. We gave the ball away far too cheaply. And when we did get chances to work David De Gea, we didn't do enough of that. And that's what happens against the top six sides. If you don't show up for 90 minutes, then you get punished. And that's exactly what happened in the game. I'm not even going to sit here and say that we even deserved a point from that game because if the game had finished 1-1, we are very, very lucky. Steve Bruce would be the luckiest man in Newcastle because, again, I'm baffled by Steve Bruce's substitutions. Why is it that Steve Bruce is making a substitution when we're 2-1 down? Right, we've already made one sub, which was forced by the injury of Isaac Hayden, but yet it takes him right, at least the 70th minute to take off Joe Linton and bring on Ryan Fraser when you should be doing that around the 60th minute when Manchester United are drawn into the game. And then we also, well, he made one when, well, our final substitution when we're 2-1 down. 2-1 down and we're chasing the game. A game which I felt like if Steve Bruce had actually set up correctly, we may have actually got something from. And I just feel like with Steve Bruce's negative tactics, he's been found out yet again. And it's not the first time in his management that he's been found out. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, Man United are a good side. I get it. But they're there for the taking. And they're vulnerable at the back. But I just don't feel like we did enough in the game. I really don't. I don't think we're seeing too much ASM. I don't think we're seeing too much of Wilson. Shelby was okay fits and starts. But for the majority of the game, we were so defensively deep that we were just inviting Manchester United on the counter-attack as often as they wanted to, and you can't afford to do that at this level because you will get punished against any club. It doesn't matter who it's against. And I'm just disappointed because when your favourites going into a game, especially at home, you want to be taking the 3 points, and I feel like, again, it's 3 points dropped. It really is. And it's mad saying that against Manchester United, but it is. It's 3 points dropped, but again, we didn't deserve anything from it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we've really let ourselves down. I feel like Steve Bruce has let us down tactically, and I feel like the players just at times were not at the races, unfortunately. But again, that is football. But I just feel like we only seem to turn up in certain games. Now, was Burnley just a paper over the cracks? Possibly, because Burnley are not as good as Manchester United. But listen, Bruce, he does get very, very lucky, and tonight he wasn't so lucky, and I think it's justified in my personal opinion. Now, we'll go after the perfect start. When you go 1-0 up against the top six side, you want to go on and get that second goal, and we didn't. And that was the story of the game. If you go 1-0 up against the top six side, yes, they're going to use that power, that quality to try and get back into the game. But it's up to us to close them off. And we did for certain periods, but we didn't look like an attacking threat at times. We're just too static. Like thinking, you know, what are we going to do next? Rather than make that quick pass, we didn't. We were just gifting the ball away far too cheaply. And Manchester United, you know, they got back into the game at 1-1. And that, for me, when they equalised at 1-1, I knew exactly where the game was going because they had plenty of chances, especially in that second half. You know, Darlow, you know, making that save from the penalty spot. You're thinking that's where we should go on and try and wake up and get on the counter-attack on the other, you know, end of the pitch, and we didn't. We really did not look that threat. And that should have been our alarm bells wake-up call, especially to Steve Bruce, to make the changes. But he didn't. Too stubborn. It's sometimes being too stubborn doesn't get you what you want. And we were punished twice or 3 times in that second half, and we'll lose the game 4-1. And I'll run through the game right now for you from what I'd recorded down. So the starting lineup was in goal, Carl Darlow. The back four, Emil Kraft, Federico Fernandez, Jamal Lascelles and Jamal Lewis. In the midfield, Isaac Hayden, John Shelby, Jeff Hendrick, Joe Linton, Alan St. Maximin. And up front was Callum Wilson. Now in the first minute, we'll go 1-0 up. We get the dream start when Luke Shaw puts a deflection beyond David De Gea. So Alan St. Maximin, some good hard work down that left-hand side. He passes the ball to Shelby. Shelby passes it straight to Emil Kraft. I think he tries to cross it, and then it sort of confuses Luke Shaw. He sticks a foot out, and it goes beyond David De Gea. And yeah, it's very unfortunate for him, but it's very good for us. And once you go 1-0 up, that's when I'm thinking, right, okay, let's try and go for the second goal, because Man United are not in a good moment, and they got off to the worst possible start. You could see it with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was not happy. And then the next chance actually came in the 90th minute when Bruno Fernandes was deemed to be offside by VAR, when Manchester United did have the ball in the back of the net, and they did check it, and it was the correct decision. He just strayed a little bit offside, and that's VAR. They're very much to the point. Then on 21 minutes, Shelby had a shot straight at David De Gea, and that was our first effort on target after 21 minutes. Yeah, can you believe it? Against a struggling Manchester United side, it took with 20 minutes to get a shot on target. 22 minutes in, Bruno Fernandes has a shot which is saved by Carl Darlow, but it goes for a corner. And from the resultant corner, Manchester United equalise 1-1 through Harry Maguire from a header. Yes, don't get me wrong, it's a good goal, but you question who is marking Harry Maguire. It's really not hard to deal with, a set piece if you're marking up correctly. Yes, it's a good header, but that should not happen. It should be prevented, from going into the back of the net. Carl Darlow had absolutely no chance, but you've got to look at the defence there, switching off, and we're punished yet again. So 1-1. On 30 minutes, ASM has a shot straight at David De Gea, and he sort of picks up a little injury. I think he's winded more than anything, David De Gea, but he was okay to continue. And then on 36 minutes, Wan-Bissaka, he forces Darlow into a very good save. He manages to sort of tip it around the post for a corner, and then Darlow was forced into a save by Marcus Rashford, do beg your pardon, and it's half-time 1-1. I feel like, it's probably a fair result. Yeah, we had a good start, but we didn't really build on the lead, and against the top 6 sides you get punished, and it was a fair result. Yeah, Man United had chances. They had a ball in the back of the net, but they scored a header. But I was kind of happy with that. But I was expecting a bit more in the second half. But talking in the second half, after 48 minutes, Isaac Hayden, he goes down. He's injured. He gets subbed for Javier Manquillo. I'm surprised, actually, that Manquillo didn't start over Emil Kraft. But I don't make the managerial decisions. It's Steve Bruce. And then on 50 minutes, ASM puts a nice ball into Callum Wilson. Man United were caught napping, and Wilson manages to get a toe on it, and it's a really good reaction save by David De Gea. He manages to prevent the ball from crossing the line, and any other keeper, I think, would have actually made a mistake. You could say David De Gea is pretty crap at the minute, but that is actually a very good save. It's a good reaction by Wilson, because someone like Joe Linton would have actually missed that, but it's a good spot by ASM. Could Wilson have done better? Maybe, I'm not too sure. It's a good effort, but it is a good save equally by David De Gea to prevent us from going 2-1 up, and that would have actually gave us a real boost going into that second half and the remainder of it. Then on 56 minutes, a penalty at Manchester United. A foul by Jamal Lewis. It was spotted by Stockley Park, and Craig Pawson, the referee, was alerted to it. Now, they did check it at Stockley Park to think, did Jamal Lewis really commit the foul? Was it just a dive by one of the Manchester United players? Well, Craig Pawson was asked to check the monitor, and he deemed it to be a penalty. I think it was quite soft personally, but listen, that's VAR, and we got a slice of luck against Tottenham, and that happens. It's football, VAR straight to the point, and Actually, to be fair, it was a good save by Caldolo. Bruno Fernandes went left and Caldolo guessed right. And from the original corner, from which Darlow saved the pen, when the ball come in, Shelvey, with his head, managed to clear it off the line. So we got very lucky there not to be 2-1 down. But again, they were the warning signs. They were the signs where Steve Bruce needed to make those big changes, but he didn't until late on. And then Shelvey from outside the box forces David De Gea into a save. Now, Joe Linton does go off for... Let's have a look. It was for Ryan Fraser on 72 minutes, do beg your pardon, and I think it's a little bit too late, personally. I think Fraser should be coming on after 60. Give him half an hour. He's fit enough, in my personal opinion. What did Joe Linton offer in the game? Absolutely nothing. And then Harry Maguire, he goes close as well with an effort, which brushes the left-hand post. Could easily have been, a goal there and then. And then Manchester United do go 2-1 up on 85 minutes. And I feel like it's a goal that could have been prevented. He picks up the ball on the left-hand side. He just drives at the defence. And no one's really getting close to him. It's disappointing. We know he's a good player. He missed a pen. But, he had the freedom of St James's Park, the Leazes end, to pick his spot. And he just, he was diving, darting into the box, and he managed just to, finesse it past Caldolo into the top right-hand corner. Good finish, to be fair, a very good player. But you question that goal, it's a poor one to concede. And I think Steve Bruce as well was poor in terms of his tactics. Why did he bring on Almiron for Jeff Hendrick on the time Man United made it 2-1? Because they've got the full initiative of the game. They're going for it. Do you know what I mean? They're not sitting here for a point. He made that sub when Man United went 2-1 up. That should have been made beforehand to actually give us a chance if maybe going 2-1 up ourselves. But there you go. That's Steve Bruce in a nutshell for you. And then on 89 minutes, Manchester United make it 3-1 through Wan-Bissaka. He plays a 1-2. He's fed into the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the penalty box, and he just smashes it into the top corner, right corner past Caldolo. Good finish, and it's really disappointing by our point of view defensively. And then Manchester United wrap it up with a fourth goal on 96 minutes through Marcus Rashford, and it's just been a very disappointing night. And I'm just disappointed by the result. But if you play like that and you have a manager who's so tactically inept at times, this is what happens against the top six sides. And it's been proven that against the top six sides, we bottle it under Steve Bruce, where this was a big chance, to get 3 points, and we've let ourselves down. We've shot ourselves in the foot. And again, going back to the preview, I didn't want to underestimate Manchester United in any way, because that's what can happen. The top six sides, can punish you. The Premier League is so, I wouldn't say it's stable in terms of games, results, because results can change all the time. You could lose 6-1 and then win 3-1. We lose 3-0 to Brighton and then we can beat Burnley 3-1. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy. I mean, I've got no complaints about the result. I feel like it's fair. I feel like Man United wanted it more in the second half, and we just were second best. And when you're second best, you don't tend to get the result that you want. And it's back to the drawing board. It really is. And we're quite lucky because we're playing one game a week, and that's what's going to go for us. And I hope Hayden's okay, because he obviously pulled up with an injury. Darlow didn't look 100% in the second half either, but I tell you what, he was my man of the match. If it wasn't for him, then in my opinion, we are losing this game, I would say, by 5 or 6. It could even be 7. And fair play to Manchester United, I have to say. It's easy to go against the opposition, but I'm not salty. I'll just say it as it is. And we just need to look at our own performance. We need to look at ourselves. And I think Steve Bruce needs to analyse that and think, he got it wrong. Because I really did think he got it wrong in that second half. And I don't know what more I can say, apart from it's frustrating, but I'll take it on the chin. It's Manchester United. We can move on to the next game. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, because I know the players are capable of so much more. It's one of those results, and we are capable of bouncing back, and we're going to have to, because if we don't, then we could go back into that rut of last season where we just didn't win a game in so many, and I don't want to get back to that, because there's talent there, and I'm sure the players who I believe didn't perform tonight will be better, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next game. And just not the performance that we wanted, but there we go. Full time 4-1 to Manchester United. And if you enjoyed the match review, I do regular content, so make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, turn on your notification bell. Let us know down below in the comments who performed well for you. Who was your man of the match? If there was one, I will repeat again. Carl Darlow was mine. But yeah, we'll move on to the next game. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Ta-ra.